Hi everyone, it's David Waterston here again from CD Surveys. I'm going to do a few things today. I'm going to set out a grid using bamboo canes and an optical square, and then I'm going to survey them, the levels, with an automatic level. And then I'm going to survey them in bits of detail with 3-hair stadia, which we showed you one of the last videos, which will be using an optical level again and a level staff, and you read the 3 hairs, the bottom one, the middle one, the top one, and take the bottom from the top, multiply it by 100, and that gives you a distance. And then the last video I'm going to do measurements, picking up detail from a baseline and using trilateration, which is a solution of triangles using distances. So this will give you an idea of the methodology in surveying basic gardens and basic bits of detail. And then the last video I'm going to do the same exercise and time it using a normal electronic theodolite. Now in the old days we used to use an instrument like this, which is a Vilt T2. It was used extensively in the 1960s and 70s. It's all optical. You've got split bubbles, verniers where you've got to read the horizontal angle and the vertical angle. It's to 1 second of accuracy, both horizontal and vertical. And then later on, the industry managed to get EDMs that would stick in the top, so your horizontal angle you still need to read your vertical, but you could take the distance, which would save you taping or using 3-hair stadia. And then we've moved on, and I'll show you the sort of, in the last 20 years, what the conventional surveyors use now, which is a total station theodolite. Alright, so at least it gives you an idea. Right, what I've done with the optical square is I've measured 2 meters off at that end of the road and 2 meters off at this end of the road. I've then pulled out a tape, if you can read it. It doesn't start at 0, so be careful with that when you're measuring. So I've gone out 20 meters out there, and I've pulled that tape across the back 20 meters, and then I'll come out from there 20 meters. Now if you can see this, it will hopefully line up the 2 poles. So I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to take a photo of it anyway, and I can show you how it lines up. Okay, right, I couldn't focus the optical square onto that pole down there, the one across there. So what I've done is I've intersected 2 tapes 20 meters, and I'll try and prove that and see if we can take a shot with the optical square and just show you how that should fire in. And then what we'll do is we'll set up all the intermediates at 5 meter intervals, and then we just go across and do the same. Alright, cheers. I failed with the photograph, so I'll see if I can see it with the video. So you can see the bottom one there, then you should see the one in the middle. Yeah, so line them all up. So I've set up the corners, and what I'm going to do now is survey the ones, or place the ones every 5 meters in between, and then I'll mark them up. I'll show you how to note them on the sketch. Then we'll level them, we'll survey them in 3-hair stadia, we'll survey them, the corners in by chain and offset, or triangulation, or trilateration, which is distances, and then I'll survey them in with a conventional instrument. And then what I'll do is I'll process it all, and I'll show you in a CAD drawing how they all relate. Okay. And the other thing to note is 10 meters, but once you've set up a few, I don't know if you can see them all, but they're all in a line and they can come quite easy and quite quick to set them up. So once you've got the first few on, it's quite easy to extend it all up. Okay. Right, this is me on the last row. So it's only taken, oh, not very long. And you've got 20 meters from the end and 15, so it's the last row. So I'm going to put a set of down here, straighten up my table a bit. And then that's the grid set out, so that's a 20 meter grid set out. You could mark up each one if you've got detail around it that you'd want to survey. Then you could use that because you're going to fix them all. You're going to fix the 4 corners, and then the whole thing is quite rigid within a couple of centimetres. So you can measure any detail at this manhole that's there. I don't know if you can see it, the IC just in front of the tripod. So that could be fixed within the 4 points. And for numbering them up, you can number them 1, 2, 3, 4. But I would prefer to look at where north is, which is that way, and start them with 0, 0. And then, so it's 0, we're going easterns and northerns, so it's 0, 0, 5, 0, 10, 0, 15, 0, 20. Then you come up the next one, it's 5 up, so it'll be 5, 20, 5, 15, 5, 10, 5, 5, 5, 0. And you work your way like that, so it's easterns and northerns. And when you get this one here, it's 20, 20. And that one down there, sorry, that one will be 0, 20, and that one down there will be 20, 20. Alright, but I'll show you in the sketch anyway what it looks like. Cheers. Right, so what I've done here is I've gone, as I said, easterns and northerns. So I've marked them up 5 down, 5 along. And I start on 0, 0, 5, 0, 10, 0, etc. And what I can do is use that as the label when I'm surveying it and leveling it all. Okay? It's worth noting as well, if you ever see one of these cheap somewhere, it's a wheel, measuring wheel, and what it does is it measures the distances a bit more automatically. So if we try it on this one here, we can see what it's like over 20 meters. Alright, so that's 0 on there. Let's go this way. Because if you're doing sort of very rough stuff, it might be helpful to use this. So it's one. I think you can adjust it, but it's 19.1 meters, which is not great because it should be 20. So maybe they're not as good. But as I say, you can adjust it and then get it to 20 meters, and it might save you a bit of time and effort.